My parents started charging me rent at 17, then got mad when I moved out forever. I grew up in a small town outside Cleveland where everybody acted friendly but somehow knew everybody else's business. My parents loved telling people we were a tight family. What they really meant was, you don't get privacy. By 17, I was already working 25 hours a week at a grocery store while finishing high school. Most nights I got home smelling like fryer grease and expired produce because they kept putting me in the deli section. One Friday night, I came home after closing shift and found a printed paper sitting on the kitchen counter. Household contribution agreement. I genuinely thought it was a joke. It wasn't. My dad adjusted his reading glasses and goes, "You're almost an adult. Time to learn responsibility." They wanted $400 a month. $400 for a tiny bedroom with peeling wallpaper and a bathroom I shared with my little brothers who somehow got toothpaste on the ceiling every single day. The craziest part? We weren't struggling financially. My dad worked for the county. My mom was a nurse. They had money for Disney trips, new cars, and my brothers travel baseball tournaments every summer. But suddenly, when it came to me, everything was about building character. I tried arguing once. My mom hit me with the classic line, "Other kids would be grateful." So I stopped arguing. I just worked more. Senior year became school from 7 to 3, grocery store from 4 to 11, homework after midnight, repeat. I missed football games, birthday parties, everything. Then one night during dinner, my youngest brother asked my parents if he'd have to pay rent too someday. My dad laughed and said, "No, that's just for your sister. She's the expensive one." Everybody laughed except me. That sentence stayed in my head for years. A few months later, I got accepted into a college in Chicago with partial financial aid. I was excited for maybe 5 minutes before my parents ruined it. My mom actually said, "You're not ready to live on your own." What she meant was, they were about to lose their extra income. The next few weeks became non-stop guilt trips. Who's gonna help with your brothers? Why are you abandoning family? Do you know how hard we worked for you? Then my dad said something that changed everything. He goes, "If you leave, don't expect help from us ever again." Cool. So I left. I packed my entire life into a rusty Honda Civic and drove to Chicago with 2 suitcases, a coffee maker, and like $80 in my checking account. And honestly, those first 2 years were brutal. I lived with 3 roommates in an apartment so small the oven door couldn't open all the way because it hit somebody's bed frame. I worked at a coffee shop at 5 a.m. before classes, ate instant ramen constantly, cried exactly twice in a Target parking lot. But for the first time in my life, every dollar I earned belonged to me. No envelopes on the counter, no lectures, no family contribution, just freedom. Over time, things got better. I graduated, got a corporate job, then another one. Eventually, I started making real money. Meanwhile, my parents suddenly became very interested in talking again, especially after my brothers both dropped out of college and moved back home. My mom started texting me random things like, family should stay connected. They needed something. And sure enough, last Thanksgiving, my dad called asking if I could temporarily help with their mortgage because my mom had medical bills. I actually felt bad at first, until my aunt accidentally told me they'd just spent 20 grand remodeling their kitchen. Granite countertops, wine fridge, the whole HGTV starter pack. So when my dad called again, I finally said what I'd wanted to say for almost 10 years. I told him, sorry. I figured helping financially was a lesson in responsibility. Dead silence. Then he goes, "You're really holding on to the past?" And I said, "No, I'm just following the example you set." He hung up on me. We haven't talked much since, but sometimes I still think about that little printed contract they left on the kitchen counter when I was 17. Funny how they called it preparing me for adulthood, because honestly, it just prepared me to live without them.